We're not going to, our Foolishness Friday is going to be a little different tomorrow because we won't be in studio. So I was a little disappointed. We're going to, they're making sure people aren't around each other like this, like how we are right here, because stuff can spread.
This is scary.
It is a little bit, but I don't want to be scared. So we're not leaning into fear. I'm looking at this as an opportunity. Provided everybody listening to my voice stays alive, there's an opportunity to tighten some things up. I was talking about it a little bit yesterday. And family, welcome again. Today is Thrive Thursday, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. It's also cooperative economics. And had you been listening to this show from day one, you're good. Now, I'm not saying that you're protected from the coronavirus because we didn't, put out an antibody, but your finances should be okay. The stock market is crazy right now. We're going to have Terry Igioma to talk about how you can actually make money during a downwards. And I think we're going to be in a bear market for a minute, as long as Trump is president, because he's unpredictable. And this is why voting matters. And this is why you should know you're selecting or electing somebody that's going to run the country. And you should elect somebody who actually has relationships, who has a background in actually running things successfully, and who knows how to get things done.
Okay.
That was a hot mic last night.
I know. I heard the F-bomb and all. Like, this is a person that is not equipped to run anything. He's run companies into the ground, ruined the USFL, ruined his marriages. It's just a horrible person. But out of protest, you want to do something different. And now you're impacting the lives. Those of you who voted for Trump, you're impacting the lives of a lot of people. Now, I live in a nice state. New York is a great state. If you live in California, you're probably okay because your government, your local government is going to take care of things. I told you yesterday about Mario Cuomo was his father, who was also governor of New York.
It's
Andrew
a nice
Cuomo.
bridge.
This is a nice bridge. Andrew Cuomo was like, yeah, okay, we're going to take control because no one has any tests. So we're going to get some tests for our people because I went to the federal government and they're not testing anybody and they're not getting back to us. So I'm going to take it up with a local company here and we're going to get people tested because that's why you elect people. That's what government does. It's the only thing we depend on them to do. Y'all trying to elect people to solve every problem. No, this is why we elect people to a higher office, to take care of things when they're things that we can't control in our own lives, like a pandemic. Civics 101. So I'm not here to wag my finger today at all of the people that pulled the lever for an idiot. But I am going to say we can do better. Now is an opportunity. I don't know what's going to happen with the next week election. We know the debate has moved to Washington, and I don't know how people are going to show up. Are they going to have to space them out every 6 feet to go vote? Like, this is severely going to impact our daily life. And I said this many, many times, and I don't want to be that I told you so person. Things happen quickly. One day everything's fine. The very next day it's not. And here we are. Here we are. I will not be able to come into the city tomorrow. Not because I don't want to. So what are we going to do? So my question is, what's your plan? Yesterday, I went to the supermarket last night because I'm in Whole Foods probably 3 or 4 times a week. And a lot of you have seen me there. I saw you, but I didn't want to come up to you. I'm in Whole Foods a lot. That's my club. Some of y'all go to club. I go to Whole Foods, hang out there, buy stuff because it's fresh food. And all of the water was gone. I've never seen all of the canned goods gone. Gone. It's Whole Foods. It's not like a regular supermarket because that stuff is expensive water, expensive canned foods. And it's the panic. The panic. And I'm like, were y'all not wiping your asses before? I'm like, y'all didn't have toilet paper. Y'all and I told you yesterday, my dad had a store. So we've always been conditioned to keep stuff in stock. Like, I've never in my entire life run out of toilet paper, paper towels, Clorox. Like, my father literally in our basement was like a supermarket. We never ran out of anything, and I've carried that forward into my life. So when these things happen, I'm like, never worried. When I get water delivered, I get like 5 extra things. I don't just buy 1 thing of water. So I have a stockpile of everything. So I didn't go there for toilet paper. I went there for tangerines, and I think I got some soup or something. But I walked past the water aisle, and I was like, Whole Foods? I don't know what the regular stores are like. Whole Foods, no water? Crazy.
I can't imagine what a Costco's like.
Oh, my God. But it's a panic, right? So then what do you do when this is over? And you got all of these canned foods, goods that go bad. because I did that one year. And then it just sits in your, because you don't eat that stuff unless you have to. But then when you have to, you don't have it. And then you pay. So I need us to live our lives in preparation, right? You save your money. The reason why you have an emergency fund is for an emergency. Yet most Americans don't have $400 saved. Not this audience, but most Americans. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad now. When this is over, and it will be over, there won't be a pandemic forever. Even the worst flu ever, the Spanish flu, and maybe we'll have Kenneth C. Davis, not in the studio, but he'll be on the phone next week to talk about, what was it, Deadlier Than War, or his book. The flu, even that took out a third of the population, lasted 2 years at the most. And then there's going to be a period of like great opportunities, and this is the cycle of life. But how you manage the valley will determine your life. And when I came onto this broadcast onto SiriusXM, I wanted to do a show that I wish I had when I was in my 20s and 30s. I wanted to prepare people for the best life they could possibly live. And that means even when you're in your valleys, because everybody's going to be in a valley. It rains on everyone. Bad things happen to everybody. How you are able to manage those down periods are directly proportional to how you manage the great periods. So while things were going well, the stock market was doing well for 12 years, where you're stowing away your money, where you're investing in different things, where you're taking care of your future self. And if the answer is no, it's not too late, because now there are great opportunities, but now people are going to be getting laid off. Now there's going to be extreme panic and belt tightening and things that you have to do to survive. I was watching this battle go on Twitter earlier today, because one guy was like, people are complaining about not going to work, but what about dying? Like, if they tell you to stay home, stay home. And folks are like, well, I got bills to pay. And they were like, well, you won't be paying bills if you're dead. And they were like, well, right now I may not die, but I may get sick and I may lose my job. And then what? Are you going to pay my bills? And it's like all of these very real things, and they're both right. However, we shouldn't even be at this place, because we shouldn't have Trump as president, and most of us should be prepared. 866-801-8255. So while I still have a voice, I'm going to go to the phones, but I want to know what your preparation is. Are you stocking up for? What are you stocking? What's in your pantry? I'm going to read a couple of items from several articles. But the one thing I want to tell you is nothing good happens in panic. No good decisions are made out of distress. So I need everybody to be calm. I was listening to Laura Coast today. Her show, she's so funny. She started off, and that's what she said, just breathe. Just breathe.
Yeah, it's really scary right now. Karen, I hope Karen's okay.
All right. I'm gonna go to the phones. Also, I want to talk about, not at all, I don't want to play much of Trump, but I do want to kind of, I didn't watch his speech from the Oval Office last night, because I already know he's either going to read from a teleprompter or he's going to read off the cuff. If he reads from a teleprompter, I don't believe anything that's coming out of his mouth. If he just talks off the cuff, it's going to be an ish storm. So I'm like, I don't want to tune in. This is not the man I want to listen to during a crisis. I don't believe him. All trust has been eroded. I never had it. So, and then I find out that Stephen Miller wrote his speech, which explains why there was xenophobia and stupidity, nothing about the tests. If South Korea can test tens of thousands of people, are they better than America? Why don't we have tests available? How come we can't get tests that can tell us whether or not we have the virus?
Well, you know why Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson found out that they have coronavirus, right?
Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson found out because they're in Australia.
Correct.
Where they get tested. Oh, by the way, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson have coronavirus. All right, let's play this a little bit, because again, I get really disturbed when people try to chastise me when I say there's no room to be racist around a virus. Calling it the Chinese flu and the woohoo flu and the like all of this bull crap is beneath you. It shows how tiny, small, and scared you are. Let's stop doing that. But the president did it. Sort of. Play it.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshaling the full power of the federal government and the private sector to protect the American people. This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history. I am confident that by counting and continuing to take these tough measures, we will significantly reduce the threat to our citizens, and we will ultimately and expeditiously defeat this virus.
Was that shortness of breath?
Yes, I don't think it was a denture shift. Like,
God bless the United States.
I don't think it was like that, because he literally.
I'm not going there. A lot of you have. I'm not going to go there.
Which is a symptom of coronavirus.
I'm not going there, Smiz. I'm not going there. I'm not going there with you. I'm not. But I wanted to play that to juxtapose it to Joe Biden, who actually gave a speech today addressing coronavirus. Let's play that.
Yesterday, we announced a Public Health Advisory Committee of experts who will continue to counsel my campaign and me, help guide our decisions on the steps to minimize further risks. And we will lead by science. The World Health Organization now has officially declared COVID-19 a pandemic. Downplaying it, being overly dismissive, or spreading misinformation is only going to hurt us and further advantage the spread of the disease. But neither should we panic or fall back on xenophobia. Labeling COVID-19 a foreign virus does not displace accountability for the misjudgments that have been taken thus far by the Trump administration.
Damn, he sounded presidential. But more importantly, Joe Biden actually knows how to do this. You know how I know? We've watched it. He knows who to call. He would not defund the NIH or CDC. He would not shut down whole spaces that handle pandemics, which is what Trump did, because he didn't understand the value of that, which is your sole job as the president, is to oversee our government in times of crisis like this. And we've been in worse places before, so I don't want to overstate the point, but that we need leadership that actually can give us facts, make sure that, because here's the thing, Trump could pick up the phone and call Johnson & Johnson or one of these companies that do, I was thinking about this today. You know, you can get a pregnancy test, right? You know, and there are a lot of companies that do pregnancy tests. There are companies that do DNA tests that can give you what your predispositions are for disease, right? You just do a swab. You send it off, they send it right back. Actually, the guy that got on the airplane, JetBlue, did a swab, and while he was on the plane, found out that he had coronavirus. So clearly there's a way for you to send this off. Why can't you go to Quest Lab or LabCorp and get them to manufacture quickly? But it would require a president that has a vision to go to the public sector and ask them in a time of crisis to step forward.
Step forward and do it for free for the American people, because there's tons of people who are uninsured.
That's what Cuomo's doing in New York. And who's going to say no in that situation? Not everybody Skrelly who's going to charge 20 times more for a drug that people need because he's a greedy bastard. And look what happened to him. Is he in jail? Yes, because he's an asshole. That's right. Speaking of jail, Harvey Weinstein is in Bellevue because he had chest pains. But I digress. 866-801-8255. A lot of things are happening because it's right. The NBA. Let me just shout out the NBA. They've canceled indefinitely, and I love the NBA. I know LeBron's upset. They've canceled the season. Wow. That's a move. Because two of its players, not just the one Utah player that was touching the mics, his locker mate also now has tested positive for coronavirus. And they shut down the whole league. They didn't even hesitate. And then Mark Cuban, one of the owners, stepped forward and said, hey, I'm going to take care of the people, the day workers, the folks that aren't, going to get paid because of this. I'm going to take care of them because I'm a billionaire and I can do that, which most of the owners are, the governors of the NBA. This is what being an American looks like. And if nothing comes out of this coronavirus pandemic, I hope what should happen is humanity comes back, because we've been sorely missing it for the last decade or so. And where people start to realize, as Joe Biden pointed out, this virus doesn't care what your political affiliation is. Doesn't care what color you are. Doesn't care what your socioeconomic background is. Doesn't care where you come from. It's going to take out, unfortunately, people across the board. So being racist and stupid and dismissive and all of this, it's just counterproductive. And I hope what comes out of it is that we're Americans and we need to band together. 866-801-8255. Major League Baseball is postponing the season for at least 2 weeks. This is a serious situation. Fortunately, here at SiriusXM, we're going to be here. One of the reasons why we are not going to be in the studio tomorrow is because we need to make sure that we can be here, that the mic never shuts off. So we're going to keep going.